Welcome to Passages from the Heart. In today's episode, I will work on beautifying Sunny a bit more to get her ready for the upcoming sailing season. I also have some updates on SV Charm. Today is waxing day and I am really loving what I'm seeing for the results. Let me show you. Here's where basically from here up to the bow of the boat I've buffed, and you can see where I have to finish buffing out, but I'm really getting that amazing shine. Now that's the shine I'm talking about. Look at that from using the wax cleaner. That is amazing how much of a difference that makes. The product I'm using was the same I used on last summer on No Moss, this Star Bright cleaner wax. I really like it. It works really well. So I have to buff out this part here, and you can tell the rest of the hull just isn't as shiny yet as it is up there. Okay, so I'm starting from this point of the boat, midships, here where the chain plate is. You can see where I've done and where I haven't done. I'm using these soft microfiber cloths for both the application and for the buffing. When you apply the product, this is not my application cloth, but when you apply the product, you're supposed to apply it in small circular motion and then allow it to dry. Not too long though. I usually give it about a minute or so, minute and a half, and then I just come back with the buffing cloth, microfiber cloth, in the same sort of small circular motion. And I didn't see on the bottle if it said if it was okay to apply to things like the boot stripe and whatnot, but I have been doing it when I was a kid and I helped my dad with our boat. He used to just tell me, just don't go below that line, meaning the water line. And so I would do that or include that as well with the process. So here's my application cloth, and I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of something going on right here. So I'm gonna put that back on there, just circular, circular, circular. And it looks like it's gone, but I'm gonna let it just rest to dry for a little bit, and then I'll come back to buff it out. Yeah, much better. It's gone. I'm gonna try to also do the cabin trunk, not the nod skid, of course. I think that'll also make a big difference too. And just take it all the way down aft. Of course, I'm not the greatest boat waxer buffer, but I just wanted to make another note of something I remember my dad used to tell me. Try to find a fresh spot and rotate often on your cloth, or just get a new one when the one you're using is starting to get a little bit raggedy. When all was said and done, it took me 2 afternoons to wax and buff out Sunny's hull. I have to say, I'm pretty pleased with the results of my efforts. I can't believe what a difference it makes to use that product, the wax cleaner, and I highly recommend it if anybody else might be interested in it. I am done with the waxing and the buffing, so you're getting closer. Happy Memorial Day weekend. It's time to go work on the boat again. I had a nice day yesterday, hanging out with family, but now it's time to work on the teak. Hey Sunny, time to get to work on your teak. Got my water and all my bags of gear, different sandpaper, dustpan, and brush. Here's where I'm gonna be working. There's not hardly any teak, so it shouldn't take too long, I guess is what I'm driving at. I forgot, there's this part as well that I'll need to sand. For the most part, it's pretty bleached out. I need to tape off the teak first. Last year when I did No Mass, I didn't do that, and I ended up scratching a little bit of the fiberglass on the companionway sliding hatch cover area, so I definitely don't want to run into that sort of an issue again. To be safe, I'm gonna wear a mask. While not particularly pleasant to wear, I decided that I'm going to wear the safety goggles. Okay, this is what I'm going to use. It should be pretty effective, and I'll just apply it alongside of every place that I'll need to sand in here. And so, yeah, I want to make sure I protect all of this. You think that I would have learned from last year's experience when I worked on No Moss's teak, but as it turned out, I started with 100 grit sandpaper when I really should have started with 80 grit. I just feel like it's not really getting into there as far as I want to get. I'm going to see if maybe using this 80 grit will give me a little bit better results for what I'm looking for. This feels super smooth. That's after 80 and then 100 grit, and now I'm gonna put on the 120 grit paper on the block and do some more sanding with that and then call it good. Brush off after 120. I will have to bring the handheld vacuum down next time because I think this brush it's helpful, but the vacuum will be much better. I think I spent about in total an hour and 20 minutes working on this one piece of teak that's on the port side of the companionway. I think it turned out pretty good. Let me show you. And if you compare that to the other side, you can see it's a big difference. So the other day I did this piece here on the port side of the companionway. So now it's gonna be this piece that's next. I ended up being able to work a bit more quickly when I started working on that starboard piece of teak along the companionway. I started out again with the 80 grit, worked my way up to 100 grit, and then finished with the 120 grit. And this time around, I also brought my portable vacuum cleaner, which made it a lot easier to clean up. I was pretty happy with the results, and now I just have to do 2 more pieces of teak along the top of the cabin trunk that are on either side of the sliding companionway hatch, as well as the little piece of teak where the centerboard line or pennant comes through. I've got both pieces done now. Looking good. I've got an update on my new to me 2013 Com-Pac 23 SV Charm. I've received word from Keith at the sailboat company out in North Carolina that Charm is almost ready for delivery. The work that he and his crew had to do is almost complete. We're just waiting on some final paperwork and then she should be ready to roll. All the sands of time.